Hey there. So, if you're watching this, I'm guessing your Ford is giving you a headache and you're tired of searching for answers. Well, you came to the right place. We're going to crack this code together and get you a solid plan to get your car back on the road. So, let me guess. Does this sound painfully familiar? You step on the gas, but your car just kind of sits there. It doesn't want to accelerate right. Maybe it's even stalling on you at stoplights. And of course, that beautiful check engine light is just glaring at you from the dash. It's super frustrating, I get it. There's a really good chance that the villain behind all this has a specific name, error code P2104. Think of it like a text message from your car's computer that says, hey, something's wrong right here, and it's pointing straight at the throttle system.
So let's start by really digging into what's happening from your perspective, from right there in the driver's seat. What does this code actually feel like when you're just trying to drive around?
Now, P2104 is a really common code on Fords, and yeah, it definitely points to a serious issue, but it's not some big, unsolvable mystery. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out exactly what your car's trying to tell you. All right, let's get into the technical stuff for a minute, but don't worry, I'm going to keep this super simple. To really understand what's going on, you just need to meet the two key players that make your car, well, go.
First up, we've got the Powertrain Control Module, or the PCM. Honestly, the best way to think about this is as your car's brain. It's a powerful little computer that's constantly getting information from sensors all over the engine, and it makes thousands of decisions every single second to keep everything running just right. And if the PCM is the brain, then the throttle actuator control motor, the TAC, is the muscle. It takes direct orders from the brain, and its job is to physically open and close a valve that controls how much air gets into the engine. More air means more power, which means you accelerate faster. Simple as that. Now, this is the key to understanding why your car is behaving so poorly. So when the brain, the PCM, detects a serious problem with the muscle, it doesn't just let the engine run wild. It kicks in this safety feature called forced idle mode. Your car is intentionally limiting its own power to stop you from causing some much more serious and, let's face it, way more expensive engine damage. So that terrible acceleration, that's not the failure. It's the car's self-defense system kicking into gear. Okay, so the car is protecting itself, but what exactly is it protecting itself from? In this next part, we're going to play detective and investigate the most common culprits that trigger this whole safety mode. And here's the good news. When you see a P2104 code, the investigation almost always boils down to just 4 possible bad guys. That makes figuring out what's actually wrong so much easier than you might think. And here they are. The problem could be the brain itself, the PCM. It could be the muscle, the TCM. It could be the communication line between them, that's the wiring harness. Or it could be the whole throttle body assembly. And hey, little pro tip here. Mechanics often find that the wiring harness is the problem a surprising amount of the time, just because it gets beat up from all the engine heat and vibration. So keep that one in mind. Knowing the potential causes is half the battle, for sure. But now for the most important part, matching each of those problems with its specific direct solution. And this table right here just lays it all out plain and simple. Let's just take a second here because it makes things so clear. There's really no guesswork. You see the cause on the left and its direct fix on the right. Is the PCM damaged? You got to replace the PCM. Is the throttle actuator motor faulty? You replace that motor. Is the wiring harness frayed or damaged? You repair or replace the harness. It's a direct, one-for-one relationship between the problem and the solution. Okay, so you understand the problem, you know the suspects, you can see the solutions, but what do you actually do now? Let's lay out a clear step-by-step action plan so you can take control of this thing. Here is your game plan in 3 simple steps. First, you've got to confirm the code is actually P2104. You can get a cheap little OBD2 scanner online or at any auto parts store. It plugs right in under your dashboard. Once you've confirmed it, move on to step 2, investigate. And always start with the easiest and cheapest thing to check. Remember that pro tip? Just get a flashlight and look really closely at the wiring harness that connects the brain and the throttle body. See anything frayed, burnt, or corroded? And finally, step 3 is to act. If you found the problem and you feel comfortable doing the repair, go for it. If not, that's totally okay. But now you can go to a mechanic armed with all this info, which saves them time and saves you money. And that leaves us with one last really important thought. Before you assume the absolute worst, that you need a brand new, expensive computer for your car, just remember that action plan. Taking a few minutes to methodically check the simple stuff first, like that wiring harness, could literally be the difference between a simple fix and a major repair bill. So before you fear the worst, what's your first step going to be?